How can you tell if you're in control of your mind or if it has silently taken control of you? What if your thoughts are not yours? What if every distraction, hesitation, and excuse wasn't just a bad habit, but proof that you've already been conquered? Napoleon Hill warned us, you either control your mind or it controls you. There is no halfway compromise. So today, we're going to expose the hidden architecture of your mind, the invisible routines, the mental addictions, the rituals that enslave you or liberate you. Because if you want real freedom, not financial, not political, but mental, you must claim the one throne that no one else can sit on, the throne of your own mind. And if you're not sitting there right now, then you better ask, who is? There is a kind of slavery that wears no chains, it leaves no bruises, and yet it holds more men hostage than any dictator or regime in history. It's the kind that looks like normal life. It smiles in the mirror. It speaks in your voice. It feels like you. But it isn't. It's the version of your mind that you never trained, never questioned, never challenged. And now, it runs the show. You see, there is no neutral ground inside the mind. It's either being programmed by you or it's programming you. You either control your mind or it controls you, as Napoleon Hill said. Let me show you how that control slips away, quietly, gradually, until you're obeying a master you didn't know you had. The unseen enemy, autopilot thinking. Most people believe they think, they don't. They react, they wake up and scroll. They follow routines not because they chose them, but because they're familiar. They obey cravings, chase urgency, avoid discomfort. But here's the truth. A man ruled by reaction is not a man in control. He's a puppet, his strings pulled by old habits and unconscious fears. The mind is programmable. And if you're not doing the programming, then someone or something else is. How the mind becomes a tyrant. It doesn't happen in one moment. It happens in micro decisions. You say yes to comfort. You avoid the hard conversation. You scroll instead of study. You escape instead of confront. Each time you send a signal, I choose safety over sovereignty. And your mind adapts. It rewires itself to deliver what you reward. Dopamine over discipline, distraction over depth, pleasure over progress. Before long, it anticipates your weakness. It feeds it. It defends it. Until one day, you no longer have urges. Your urges have you. You no longer think, you obey. That is when the mind becomes a tyrant. The illusion of free will. Most people are not living. They're being lived. They mistake the voice in their head for freedom. But that voice has been shaped by childhood conditioning, repetition of failure, cultural noise, and unexamined fear. Ask a man why he procrastinates, and he'll say, I don't feel ready. Ask why he avoids conflict, and he'll say, it's not worth it. But those aren't answers, they're scripts. Your mind is a recording device, and it's been looping the same track for years. The only difference between the successful and the forgotten? One rewrote the script, the other never questioned it. Why do most men avoid mind control? Because it requires confrontation, not with the world, but with the self. It's easier to blame the economy, your upbringing, your schedule, your genes. But here is the hard truth. None of those control your mind. You do or you don't. Taking control means saying, I no longer accept that this voice in my head is always right. And most men are too fragile for that. They'd rather be ruled by familiar weakness than face the discomfort of reprogramming. Signs you are not in control. Let's be blunt. Here's how you know your mind controls you. You can't stop checking your phone. You break promises to yourself. You react emotionally, then regret it. You delay important actions with brilliant justifications. You say, I don't know, when the truth is, you fear knowing. These are not personality flaws. They are symptoms of surrender. And the longer you allow them, the deeper your mind's control becomes. But here's the good news. What is programmed can be reprogrammed, and that, my friend, is where your power begins. Before you can master your world, you must master the battlefield inside your own skull. You must reclaim the throne. You must silence the false king. Because a man who cannot command his own mind will never command anything else. You want freedom. It starts with one declaration. From now on, I run this place. And the moment you mean it, the mind begins to obey. Now that we have stripped away the illusion, exposed the false king that quietly rules your every hesitation, it's time to talk strategy, not philosophy. Controlling the mind is not a single decision. It is not an emotional high. It is a system, a framework, a ritualized war waged daily between who you are and who you want to become. So, if you wish to reclaim the throne of your mind, let me teach you the mechanics of mental mastery, the habits, the disciplines, and the inner architecture required to command your thoughts instead of being enslaved by them. Because the moment you begin to act like the master, the mind remembers who it works for. First, discipline is the lever, habit is the lock. Discipline is misunderstood. It is not a feeling, it is not motivation, it is a command. Discipline is waking up before the world demands it. Discipline is doing what must be done without applause. Discipline is saying no to the easy, yes to the essential. But discipline alone fades under pressure. What solidifies it is habit. Habit is what happens when discipline becomes automatic. You need fewer decisions, not more. You need systems so embedded in your routine that deviation feels unnatural. This is how you remove friction from greatness. You don't wait to feel ready. You train your mind to act regardless. Second, rituals of command. Training the subconscious. Most men try to discipline their conscious mind, but forget that 90% of their behavior is subconscious. And here's the truth. The subconscious cannot be argued with. It can only be trained. It is trained through repetition, it is trained through identity, it is trained through association. This means you must say the same command every morning. I run this mind. You must create a power ritual, a cold shower, visualization, a posture of certainty. And you must associate action with reward, dopamine for domination. Within weeks, the subconscious begins to obey new programming. Not because you convinced it, but because you conditioned it. Third, control inputs, control identity. You are not just what you do, you are what you consume. If you fill your mind with noise, you become noisy. If you surround yourself with cowards, you become hesitant. If you feed your brain junk, you operate like junk. You must become ruthless about inputs, remove weak voices, starve mindless media, eliminate passive scrolling, choose stimuli that reinforce who you want to become. Every input is either sharpening your edge or dulling your ambition. Fourth, create rules for your mind. The undisciplined mind is a wild horse. It must be broken in. That's why you must give your mind rules, unbreakable standards that define your internal kingdom. For example, I don't hit snooze, or I write 500 words a day no matter what, or if I commit, I show up. These are not goals, they are laws. And the mind, once exposed to law, begins to respect structure. The more you obey your own rules, the more your mind obeys you. Fifth, think like an architect, not an addict. Addicts think in relief. Architects think in structure. If you want to control your mind, stop reacting. Start designing. Design your mornings. Design your focus blocks. Design your recovery. Every hour should have a dominant intention, and intention brings command. Even if the world crashes around you, if your inner architecture is intact, you remain unshaken. This is the difference between a king and a captive. Sixth, the power of delayed emotion. Want real mastery? Don't trust every emotion. Question it, delay it. Someone insults you, pause. Fear arises, observe. An excuse whispers, counter it immediately. Emotions are data, not directives. The controlled man feels everything, but acts on very little. This is not suppression, it is sovereignty. The moment you choose which thoughts to follow, you have seized the wheel. Seventh, audit the echo chamber. The mind does not exist in isolation. It reflects what it hears most. Your friends, your mentors, your environment. They are all echoes, amplifying either clarity or chaos. Do not tolerate weakness in your circle. Do not allow passive, complaining, excuse-making minds near your throne. You must treat your mind like a kingdom. Guard the gates, build high walls, expel traitors immediately, surround yourself with order, and your mind will begin to mirror it. There is no magic in mind control, only repetition, design, and brutal consistency. But once you install these mechanics, something divine happens. Your mind begins to serve you, not sabotage you. You no longer hope to succeed. You expect to. Because the battlefield is no longer unpredictable. It is engineered. and the engineer is you. If you wish to understand where your mind is truly ruled, don't look at your goals. Don't look at your dreams, your mood, or your public speeches. Look at your mornings. Because each day, before you check your phone or sip your coffee, you are already in battle. A silent war. A war between the old you and the one you claim to be building. And the outcome of that war determines everything else. First, the moment you wake, you choose your master. When your eyes open, there's a window of vulnerability. Your brain is moving from theta to alpha waves, the suggestible state. Whatever you do first will echo throughout the rest of the day. So ask yourself, do you command the day, or do you absorb it? Do you lead your mind, or feed it weakness? The man who reaches for his phone, scrolls through nonsense, floods his mind with noise, that man has already surrendered. He has chosen a master, and it is not himself. Second, rituals are weapons. Forge them with fire. Every great mind builder I've studied, from Carnegie to Edison to Ford, had morning rituals, because rituals create predictability, and predictability creates control. A chaotic morning equals a chaotic life. But a structured morning? That's a throne. For example, wake before the world wants you to. Move your body before your brain resists. Visualize the man you intend to be before the world distracts you. Write, read, breathe, command. You don't need 5 hours, you need intention. Even 15 minutes done with intensity can define your mental direction. Third, the first victory is internal. You don't earn a powerful day by luck, you earn it by winning the first decision. Hit snooze? You voted for weakness. Get up when it's uncomfortable? You've planted the seed of conquest. The man who wins the morning is not more talented. He is just more committed to his inner orders. And when you start stacking those small inner victories, they compound. They echo. They reinforce the belief that you are not a slave to your mood. You are a commander of your conduct. Fourth, guard the mental gates. Before the world floods in with demands and noise, you must fortify your mind. This means no social media, no emails, no news, no requests, only signal, only control, only willful thought. You must build a fortress so strong in the first hour of the day that no chaos can breach it, because after that hour, the world will test you. But if you've already claimed sovereignty over yourself, you'll be immune to its seduction. Fifth, decide who you are daily. Every morning is a new election. You either re-elect the man you used to be or campaign for the man you are becoming. Do this. Speak your name. Speak your mission. Speak your laws. Recite, I am the master of my mind. I train my thoughts. I choose my focus. I am becoming unstoppable. These aren't affirmations. They are instructions. And the more clearly and consistently you give them, the more obedient your mind becomes. Sixth, anchor the mind to the body. You want more focus, discipline, will? Then stop ignoring your physiology. Movement commands focus. Breath commands presence. Cold commands the nervous system. Start the day with intense breath work, cold water from a shower, on your face or a plunge, and movement like body weight exercises, a run, or lifting. The moment your body is activated, your mind follows. The master doesn't wait to feel good. He engineers the feeling through action. Seventh, prepare for resistance and defeat it. Even with the best rituals, resistance will come. A tired voice, a distracting thought, a reason to delay. But now you are aware. You are prepared. So, answer resistance with ritual, move without negotiating, act without emotional permission. That is the essence of mental dominance. Because the man who masters his mornings has already won before the world begins. You want to know who really runs the day? Look at the first 30 minutes. Was it you or the algorithm? Your vision or someone else's urgency? There are no neutral mornings. Each one either builds your mind or breaks it. So tomorrow, when the war begins again, show up first, command early, claim your throne before the world attempts to. Because once your mornings are yours, the rest of life has no choice but to follow. There comes a time in every man's evolution when the truth becomes too loud to ignore. He realizes that he has been negotiating with mediocrity. He has been entertaining doubt as if it were wisdom. He has allowed emotion to override execution, and he calls it being human. But today, right now, this moment, marks a line in the sand. There is no halfway compromise. You either rule the mind or you serve it. And no one, not even the strongest, can bypass this reckoning. First, burn the contract with weakness. Make this vow with yourself. I no longer negotiate with my mind. I command it. This means no more giving attention to distraction. No more giving energy to excuses. No more identifying with old patterns. You must divorce your former self. Sever the emotional umbilical cord to the comfort of being confused. It's not confusion. It's avoidance wearing a clever disguise. Once you burn that contract, everything changes. Second, reinforce your inner military. If your mind is a kingdom, your habits are the soldiers, and they must be trained daily. You don't need more motivation. You need more discipline routines. Ask yourself, what do I do when I feel resistance? Do I have a script, a reflex, a ritual, or do I just collapse into emotion? Install a protocol. When doubt arises, act faster. When fear whispers, move forward. When comfort calls, turn it down. You do not fight for control once a week. You fight daily, sometimes hourly. Third, elevate the standard forever. Most people improve for a season. Then they return to normal. But greatness is not a season. It is a standard. And standards are not optional. They are enforced by will. You need to elevate what is acceptable. You need to upgrade what is tolerable. Never again should laziness, passivity, or distraction feel normal. They should feel like violations. The higher your standard, the fewer options you need, because you already know the only path allowed. Fourth, speak as the architect, not the prisoner. Language is not entertainment. Language is engineering. Stop speaking like you're unsure. Speak like a commander. Speak like a builder. Don't say, I'll try. Say, I will. Don't say, maybe I can. Say, here's how I will. Don't joke about failure. Don't flirt with weakness. Don't practice helplessness in public or in private. Your voice is either cementing your future or destroying your foundation. Fifth, protect the throne, especially in silence. The real test of mental control is not when you're hyped. It's when you're tired, distracted, overwhelmed, and no one is watching. Can you still hold the line? Can you still execute without feedback, without applause, without dopamine? If so, you have crossed over. You are no longer an emotional athlete. You are a mental king. Power is not seen in noise. It is felt in your ability to act without emotion's permission. This is not a motivational speech. This is a transmission, a warning, a calling, a decision point. If you walk away from this unchanged, then you were not ready. But if something inside you shifted, hardened, straightened, then I ask you only one thing. Prove it, not to me, to yourself. Control your mind, or prepare to be ruled by something far weaker, but far more consistent. If you made it this far, then something inside you is waking up. You're not like the rest. You don't just scroll and forget. You came here to remember who you are. Now do one final thing. Subscribe to the channel, because we don't speak to the masses. We speak to the few who are ready to build empires from within. Drop a comment below and tell us, what is one habit you will no longer negotiate with? And if this message hit you in the chest, share this video with someone who needs to remember that their mind is not a playground, it's a throne. New videos drop every week. Each one a weapon, each one a challenge, each one designed to sharpen your will and rebuild your world from the inside out. Until then, take the throne, or prepare to serve someone who has.